Today I'm at beautiful Suffolk to meet a gentleman that landed on D-Day 74 years ago. He went in on Sword Beach on one of the first landing crafts and he's got some incredible stories to tell. I'm actually honoured to be here today. This is the first time I'm going to meet Bill, so let's go and meet him. If you'd just like to tell us your name and where you served during World War II.
My name?
Yeah.
I'm Bill Hammond. I'm 92 years of age and I was in the Royal Navy to start with in 1940. 44, I think it's 44. I joined up at Ganges, Ipswich. I did my 5 weeks seamanship course, followed by a 5-week gunnery course. Whilst there, having finished our training, I was asked if we would volunteer for combined operations, which was small landing craft, which when they suggested you get an extra 3p a day, I took the chance and said yes, I'll have that. Thus I ended up and combined ops on LCIs up in Scotland. First we had a course at Brentosaurus, which was giving further training on landing craft. As I say, I failed as a signaller because of my eyesight, and in February 1944 I was in Invergordon in Scotland to join my first landing craft, LCI 131 261st Flotilla. When I arrived, my hammock and kit bag had gone missing. Finally, it turned up at HMS Westcliff in 1945. Today, D-Day, we started out from Portsmouth at 7:30 AM. The sea was choppy. We were flotilla leaders, and there were a lot of small boats around. Lieutenant Commander Wall was on the bridge, being in command of the leading flotilla. A shell landed on board, splintering the large wooden board on which we scrubbed our overalls, and as a result the seaman gunner's face was like the back of a hedgehog. We unbeached our disembarked the troops who were standing by the wheelhouse. A shell cut one across the throat and another died. Both were buried at sea. The troops were waist deep in water, carrying their rifles and gear up when the LCI beached. A seaman ran down the ramp with a line to guide the troops onto the beach. One of our ramps was blown away by shell fire. And the seaman was left clinging to one of the beach obstacles with the anti-personnel bomb attached on top. We were unable to land the rest of the troops. We then embarked them on a smaller craft. When the starboard ramp was damaged, we had to pull off the beach quickly. We later learned the seaman we left behind was rescued by a smaller boat. I was the youngest seaman on the landing craft. We then did more crossings, taking troops to Dieppe, Cherbourg and Arromanches, then bringing back to England German prisoners, some very young boys and some very old men. The SS troops were kept under a strong guard at all times. We went on to Southampton to join the Ocean Way, where a larger boat, which is a large boat that opens its bows for LCA small craft to enter. We crossed the channel to Ostend. The bows were opened and we were lifted out by a crane onto lorries and taken to the nearest canal between Belgium and Holland. In the evening we took our landing craft to the Lie and the Wilhelmina Canal in the Biesbosch in Holland, searching then for enemies amongst the Biesbosch.
Fantastic. And
the Biesbosch is similar to the Norfolk Broads.
And when your build up for D-Day, did you have any clue of where you was going? Did you get any references or anything like that?
What on
D-Day?
No. We just knew we were going to France. We didn't know where.
And what day did you board? How many days was you on board before?
So,
because D-Day was going to be on the 5th of June.
I don't know. You're not told. You're just waiting for the orders. Whatever the officer says, you're just a crew.
Can you remember the build-up of what you witnessed? Can you remember seeing the flotilla?
No, just as you're approaching the coast, you've got this smoke and there's lots of noise. You've got planes going over, and the troops are all upset. They're being sick and that. You've got to clear up after them, and they're more nervous than what we are because they're going to go off. They're going onto the land, aren't they? But when they go off, what are they going to face?
And what was your kind of feeling? Do you remember feeling kind of scared going in? This was your first time of action? And
I think you sort of freeze inside. You don't know what to think. You don't know. It's lots of noise. It's something that's just thrown at you. You hadn't any experience at all.
And seeing that for the first time, did you actually realise, or many years later, the actual significance of the D-Day itself?
Well, when you think what we're going over there for, you've done your bit. You haven't got to get off that craft, and you hope that you're going to get back without any damage. It's sort of self-preservation. I don't know. It's something that's thrown at you. Your mind. You can't say, oh yes, this is so and so. It's very hard to explain.
It's just a mixture of feelings at the time.
Mixed of feelings. Yeah. You're thinking of all. You're lucky you're not going down that ramp for one thing.
Did you feel kind of it was your responsibility to get these troops to the beach?
Well, yes.
Or was it just kind of really
that's what we're there for. You sort of once you get your troops off, you can come back again.
And did you feel proud that you got your troops to the?
Well, I did. Well, yes, because it's such a big thing when you realise afterwards what you've done.
And what was your first big memory of D-Day? Like obviously,
I think the first thing is as you're going in to the coast, you can hear all the noise, as you can see flashes, and you're just hoping that it's not going to affect you personally, sort of thing. I don't know. I suppose it's like going to a football crowd and you hope you're going to get through there without them all pushing you out the way, or you hitting, they're not going to hurt you physically, personally, but they can with gunfire or that, because they are still firing at you,
Yeah. Did you get to witness any of them going onto the beach? Could you stay there to watch, or was you just going into the beach and back to the ship?
Well, you got to stay there till you get your troops off. And those that couldn't go down the ramp, as smaller craft come alongside, and you had to lower them into there, and then they went in with them.
Did you see any other crafts sadly getting hit while you was going in? Did you see any?
You don't look for. You're not looking at the other craft.
Just concentrate on your own.
Yeah. Making sure that all the troops are out of the troops base, because they might be trying to hide behind. You've got to clear them. Then comes the job of clearing up all troops bases and the mess they've made.
And did you know whereabouts you was going? Did they say you was going to Sword Beach? This is the area?
No, we didn't. No.
So you was going in green, really?
We was green, yeah.
And what did that make you feel kind of... You was going to be a hero on that day?
Well, see, some of the others have been on raids at Salerno and things like that. They'd had the experience of that, but they'd never experienced anything like this. So they couldn't tell you what it was going to be like, you know. You just this smoke and noise, and you know what you've got to do. You've got to make certain the troops are coming out. You can't fire anything. You order guns. You can't do.
And was that your order not to fire the guns?
Sorry?
Was that an order?
Oh yeah, you can't. No, you don't fire the guns because of only if our aircraft were coming over, you could fire the Oerlikon then, but then there wasn't time. There wouldn't have been any time for that. It's trying to get the troops off, get them all in line, because they don't want to go down that ramp, but they've got to go down. And then when there's one ramp blown away, you're trying to get as many as you can off the good ramp, and then a few afterwards to go into the smaller craft to the side and get them on there.
Can you remember your landing craft's number? Can you remember?
LCI 131 261st Flotilla.
And was you ever aware that you was going to be one of the first?
No, I didn't even know where we were going. It's just told it's D-Day.
And off you went.
And that was it.
And did you ever analyse it afterwards? Did you ever sit down and think?
Did I what, sorry?
Did you ever analyse D-Day afterwards? Did you ever think?
Well, I've always think about the same sort of things, you know, getting them off, and especially when you're tying a body to a weight to throw them over to the side, and someone's got to search through his pockets to find his identification and things like that. And I don't think I could have done that, but the coxswain did it. He got his box. Then we had to tie weights onto them, and then slide him over the side.
And did you see did you see any casualties going into the beach when you kept doing your runs back? Did you see any casualties in the water and on the beach?
Oh yeah, there were bodies floating about, yes.
And what did that make you feel at the time? Was you...
I don't think you feel anything. You just hope, glad it's not yourself sort of thing, you know. It's, when you think of what's flying about, shell-wise and bullets and that, you're just lucky that you've been out of range all the time, you know.
And you say you never had any real training before D-Day?
Oh no, we did. Well, we did have one thing. I can't think now. I think we did it up in the Invergold where we picked up the craft. To lower the ramp and then pick up the ramp. There's no troops on or anything, no.
And was this your first time of using the LCI?
Yeah. That was for me, yes.
And what did you think of that?
I mean, because they brought that boat over from America, and America said, when they built that boat, and if it's done one landing, it's paid for itself.
Right.
That's how cheap they were. They could lay the keel down, and I think in a couple of days that boat was built. That's the Americans. They're all welded. The weldings used to break apart sometimes, there'd be a leak.
Did that ever worry you then?
No, yeah.
And after D-Day, what operations did you do after D-Day?
After D-Day, I then joined the LCA flotilla. 506 LCA flotilla, and we went out, as I say, through, we went on the Ocean Way. The Ocean Way opened its bows fills itself with water. We go inside the LCAs, there's about 12 boats. It pumps the water up, we're left high and dry inside. She goes across the channel and drops us off at Ostend. And from Ostend, she opens the bows, fills the water, we come out and we go through Ostend through to Holland. We ended up, we've been to Ostend, went to Antwerp and along the canals until we got to the Wilhelmina Canal in Holland, and we were billeted in a school at Nieuwstraat in North Brabant. The boats were landed then in the canal, and we would take troops round the canal and down the different waterways searching for the Germans that might have been hiding in what they call the Biesbos, which is similar to the Norfolk Broads. And then they'd go a bit further, and a few more of the craft would go further on and stay there for a short period, a couple of weeks. And that's where I met we said we visited in the school, and I've got some photos of the family there. And then we came back to England, and we then joined 552 LCA Flotilla. We went back to Holland again to Schiedam. The idea was to show Dutch people the boats that we had used on the canal. And whilst there, I managed to trace my Dutch relations, who was the sister of my grandfather on my mother's side. Yeah.
Amazing. So you can still do that while the war was going on.
Yeah. And then we came back and went back to Chatham, put in the guard and did a lot of training, thought we was going to get demobbed, and they said, no, we're going to hold you back, we want you to go on the guard for a dignitary coming over from abroad for dental treatment at Dover. So we went down to Dover and did the guard for him. We came back and thought, well, that's it, but no, we've got another guard. This is a special guard. And we found it was Churchill being made Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports. There's a photo enclosed on that one. And then, again, they said, we've got one more guard, and that was a Cenotaph guard in London, which were like, you daresn't blow your nose, let alone anything else. It was terrible. And you had to stand there in that same position all the time. My father was Bibard, was my first girlfriend actually, watching. And you just stood there, and the minute said, "Squat, hun, you're like this, you can't move." But
what was it like to meet Churchill?
We don't speak to him. He just walks past, you know. And I thought, oh, as I say, that's an honour really, because he was a well-respected person. Whatever they say, he did. I think he did well for the country. He did.
Did you get to listen to any of his radio broadcasts during the war?
Sometimes, well, didn't hear much. You know, we did have a radio sort of thing on board, but that wasn't for listening to. It was mainly for signals and things like that. Yeah.
Did you ever get, after D-Day through your career, was you worried that you was going to be sent to the Pacific?
No.
Would you have have gone if you were sent to the Pacific, or was it not really mentioned?
Well, I would have to go, wouldn't I? You didn't say I wouldn't like to go. You know, you didn't have the option. No.
Do you remember when the atom bomb was dropped? Didn't you?
Yes, I thought that was. I thought that was the end of everything. That was terrible. It's a way of ending life, which was horrible, really, wasn't it? You can't. How can you describe something that's going to wipe out anything, everything, life altogether?
And is that how you felt at the time as well? Is that how you?
Sorry?
Is that how you felt at the time in 1945?
Well, I did, yes.
Yeah.
I thought the only thing is the fact that we were killing the Japanese, the people, what the atrocities that they were creating, you know, if they could have just done that, yes, but no, it was all the civilians, children. You know, you see, when the radium hits them, they just burn up, don't they? It's like the Germans throwing the people in the fire and that. When you think of the atrocities, that isn't war. It's murder. It's how Hitler could do this sort of thing. The aunt in Holland, when I met her, her arm was folded like that. She'd done something to it, but the Germans wouldn't let her have any treatment for it. So when I met her, her arm was just stuck like that all the time. I've got a photo of her in there somewhere.
And you mentioned that you met a German prisoner that reminded you of your grandfather? And he gave you a ring.
Yes, the little old boy was helping. When you're in the galley, you're allowed to have someone help you prepare some of the vegetables that you've got, because vegetables don't last long on board, you know. And he was talking a bit of English, and out of your kindness of your heart, would you like a cigarette? And of course, an English cigarette was gold dust to them, and you're not allowed to really do it, really, but it's one of those things you do undercover. And he had a cigarette, and he gave me this ring, and I said, no, I can't take that, and he insisted I took it, so I gave him some more cigarettes, you know. That shouldn't have been done, but I couldn't. He was a lovely old boy. He's like my old grandfather. You couldn't see him hurt a fly, really, you know.
And do you still have the ring today?
I got that ring, yes.
And did you ever get any other memorabilia from the war, or?
Not really, no. But,
did you keep any of your uniforms and things like that?
the uniforms?
Or did you give your uniforms and that back and when you was demobbed?
Oh, you had to get them all back. Yeah. Well, you keep what you've got. You know what you've been, but you come home in those and they're yours because you paid for those. That's it. But you don't. There's nothing else. You just. You get out of bell bottoms and you go back into all new trousers and things like that. No.
What was it like for you coming back to civilian life after what you've just been through? Was it difficult?
Well, first you've got to find employment. I was fortunate because I'd worked for Watney's Brewery when we lived in Forest Gate. And my father, my grandfather, and my mother all worked at Man Crossman's in Whitechapel. So beer was in the blood sort of thing. So I got a job there. I used to come, when I came home and leave, you go up for a day's work up there and you got paid for a day's work, pushing the tubs about, you know, you got used to spinning pins and firkins and kills and things. My grandfather worked there, he was a Bill Hammond. My father worked there, he was a Bill Hammond. And then I worked there, I was a Bill Hammond. My mother worked there, Rose Hammond. And so then when I come out, I actually got a job there, working up there, yeah.
And looking back on your service during the Navy, what was probably the biggest thing that you remember? Was it the comradeship?
Well, it was, yes. Your friends and people you weren't quite so friendly with, but when you went ashore and you had a couple of pints, everybody was your friend. You start. I even took my old accordion back once on board. Yeah, on the old LCI. Yeah, they just say, put that bloody thing away.
So really, you was always partying.
Yeah, sing the bell bottles and a suit of navy blue, let them like trying to begin like I used to do. Yeah.
Did you ever still see any of your colleagues after the war?
No. I'm the oldest I must have survived. Yeah.
And are you proud what you played your part in on D-Day?
I'm proud. It's if afterthought you think of what you could have done, you might have done a few different things, but at the time you I don't know, you don't. I would have liked to have done this, I would have liked to have done that, perhaps taken a course of something else, because I could do signalling, but I thought, oh no. I can remember one occasion, it's just funny, we were up in Scotland, we were in these wooden huts, and outside hut was like you tie a horse up, on the bar. And like lads, standing up there and balancing, trying with it. And I was trying, I started walking, someone knocked my leg away, and I fell down. That was painful, A stupid thing they do. There's always somebody that goes like that, you see. Talk about it also.
And obviously you had rations and that during.
Oh, you used to have, when we took the American troops over, because we did about, say, I suppose about 15 odd trips back, you take American troops over, they had combo boxes. Now in their combo boxes, they had things that we didn't have, There was a tin of soup where you just pulled the top off and it automatically heated the thing up. They were marvellous. Yeah, they were marvellous. Chocolates, sweets, spam, prim, treat, all the old meats you used to get. In the American compo boxes, there was always some over for us, which was good.
That was a treat.
That was a treat. Yeah.
So, your biggest memory of your service during World War II, what would you say would be your...
Well, first one was D-Day, and second would be finding my Dutch relations after D-Day. Just going backwards and forwards with troops immediately after D-Day, that was just one of those things. You could come back, get more troops, take them back, bring back prisoners back, which you usually unload at New Haven.
Did you have a young lady or anything in waiting? Did you write home?
I did have a young lady in Castle Hedingham in Essex. That's where the Kendall family came from. And we wrote to each other and used to meet up. I used to cycle from London to Castle Hedingham and back in a day on an old bike. My son-in-law thinks I was mad, I couldn't do it. I said I did. I was there and back in a day. And in the end that fizzled out, and then the wife at Chibwell, and we went there to live. Apart from that, I kept away from girls because there's so much of this disease going around, and that was something that put me off. Nowhere was I going to see him go up to sick bay. He said he's squeezing up at the sick bay. Oh.
Did you see any of your colleagues there at the sick bay? Did they ever?
No, not really. No. So what they got up to, you don't all go out together, The idea was to go to a pub, and put something in a kitty, and you all had a round of whatever you wanted. It was a pint of, I forget what it was called now. I used to drink it, and but working at a brewery, it never used to aim me the beer, you know. But of course, it did, in the Navy, it was nice to have a couple of pints. I can remember staggering back. What happened there? It's staggering back and trying to climb down the side of the dock onto the landing craft on WWII. When I first picked up my landing craft in the Golden, we were all on this little cutter, and we're going out to join the boat, and I saw this boat, LCIL. I thought, how lucky are you? 13, unlucky 13 backwards. LCI 131. I thought, oh no. But on the way, on the boat, the chin strap broke on the hat, and the hat went flying into the lock. I think it was in the Golden. So I'd lost my hat, so I arrived without a hat. My gear hadn't been picked up on the lorry with everybody else's. It was staying at Westcliff. I had my little attachment case with me washing gear in, and that was all I had. And then I saw this 131, I thought, oh, so that really put me off.
And you was mentioning that you delivered the beer to number 10 Downing Street?
Oh yeah, well, when I joined Truman's, I did different things, but there was, and when the chaps in the display department was being pensioned off, and they wanted someone to replace him, well, I used to like doing a bit of painting. I've done some bits of painting, and I joined this chap, Larry Martin. Now we used to make all these big signs up out of polystyrene. You cut the polystyrene letters out, put them on boards, take the pubs, advertising brown ale or different beers, and they're going back next day and clearing it up. We did a nice one at the Lyceum, a nice big one at the Lyceum, the whole stage, a talent trail. I've got that somewhere. And that was one job I did enjoy. We had a company car. I used to go all over the country in that and take these signs, make them up. And that's when, how was that? I'm trying to think, there wasn't it? It's gone completely out of my mind now. No, I'm lost.
That's okay.
I don't think of the pictures of those on the slides and things.
And back to the ring that you were saying that you got from the German.
Yeah.
Is that the ring you're wearing?
Yeah, that one there. It's tighter than my bed ring. Eiffel Tower. It's not of value except for the memory of that little boy, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. They call it fraternising, but you know, when you've got someone like that, it's a personal thing, you know, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Bill, from myself,
yeah.
I want to say thank you for today. It's been an absolute honour talking to you. And for you
No,
to
it's
share
not that. It's just
me.
trying to remember things. I must probably, when you go, come back with something else. I don't.
You've done a wonderful job today with your memories, and for me and my generation, I just want to say thank you. It's an absolute, as I say, an honour to meet you today. And to share
thank you
memories.
for listening to me.
So, Bill, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the picture here. Bill is the second in there, being inspected there by Churchill.
I was awaiting to be demobbed, but we were held back so that we could do this guard for Churchill when he was made Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports. Yes.
And was that a proud moment for you?
A very proud moment. And further to come was when then selected to and held back to do the cenotaph guard on the Remembrance Day. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How old was you there?
I was about to do that, wasn't I? I came out in 46, I think, came out in 1946. What's it?
Or was you 20, 21?
About 20.
About 20.
wasn't
You was a handsome fellow,
so.
weren't you?
Hey?
You was a handsome fellow.
I won't say that. I did have my own teeth in there then.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And this is your landing craft.
That's a landing craft,
So I'm
yeah.
just going to show you this as well. This is Bill's landing craft that actually landed went through on Sword Beach on D-Day. Could you tell me a little bit about the craft, Bill?
Well, I was trying to find a bit about. With his, you've got two ramps here that come down, one side each side, right? They're done on a wire pulley. You just push that down, and that goes down, then you can wind it back up from the winch here. And that one is the one that got damaged. The one on the other side was the chap went down and left him. Oh no, he went down and he got left on the beach. But the other one we got back all right. The chap came back. Paddy Butler.
Oh.
I think I said it.
Where was your position on the boat?
I was just astern or here, making certain the troops coming out the troop spaces, make certain they got out all right. Yeah.
And can you remember the number of this,
Not
the craft?
LCI 131. Can't be lucky. 13 one way and 13 the other way.
Well, you was lucky. Wasn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
It's a story of the lice there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to take any of these away.
Yeah, I'd love to have a little. Is that you? Is that?
That's me. No, that's Ray Holgrave, and that's the four of us on the LCI. I don't know if I've got any photos there. That's me aunt, my grandfather's sister I found in Holland.
Is this your original?
That's part of one of the badges. That goes on your canvas suit, which
And is that your original one?
That's the original one, but I've never had a canvas suit to wear. Well, I didn't have to. See, there's so much here that that's one of the beaches. It's a pity you can't take this away, and that, but it's, yeah.
Oh, I'd love to look at. Oh, look at all these. See, look, that's part of your.
Oh,
British infantry.
that's Queen Beach, Sword Beach, yeah.
Did you do that part, or did you know which part you did, or?
I think
just
it
moved
was
it,
Queen. It's in there somewhere. I don't. God. I've been through. We were Sword Beach. I know it. Sword Beach.
So technically, really, you was Operation Neptune, wasn't you?
Neptune, yeah. Well, Overlord.
For Overlord, because it was the naval part, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you realise at the time, Bill, that Sword Beach was going to be one of the worst beaches?
No idea. You don't. Some of the others have done smaller land, like Salerno and things. I've been on those, but
Sword Beach was
to
one
me,
of the highest casualty rates for the British and Canadian landing.
It was just a lot of noise, and oh, that's just a picture of an LCI. I don't know if you want that at all.
Oh, look at these.
That's it. I've got so much stuff here that.
This is the type of boat that Bill would have been using throughout D-Day. This is a model. And Bill, with these colourings,
Yeah.
did you have any special colouring on your boat? Did you have any camouflage?
Yeah, it was all. Ours was. That's not my boat, but that's just a model. But no, the thing is, when you come to paint ship again, where the white line goes, is you either follow it round or spread it out. You spill the paint, so you make that white, or you make that grey. You know,
So it's up to you, really.
Yeah, it all depends on you're sanding a little dinghy and it's going up and down, and you're trying to paint. I'm trying to.
Really silly question.
No.
You've probably been asked this many times. Did you get any in trouble at all during your naval career? Did you get any?
Yes, I got 1 day stoppage of leave, and I'll tell you why that was. Certain seamen do serve up the meal, right, and the next watch takes over afterwards, right. Well, once you serve up the meal, that's it, the others take over. Well, I was ordered to clear up. I said, well, no, I'm off duty now. It's gone. And the coxswain said, Hammond, I told you to do that. I said, I'm not off duty. I'm not on duty, Cox, am I? He said, you're arguing. I said, yeah. I said, you know I'm not off duty. What's the law? What's the law? He said, on caps. Get me cap on, up in front of the officer. Is on charge, but for disobeying an order. What have you disobeyed? Well, sir, I've served the lunch. I'm now off duty. You said, I'm sorry, Hammond, you should have obeyed what the coxswain did, and then you could have come and complained. 1 day stoppage of leave. Take off again, carry on working. That's the only time, and I was choked over that, because it was one of those times when you wanted to go ashore and you couldn't. So there we are.
Oh, are you?
My feet are dead, actually. OCIL 131 first FLOTI flotilla.
Perfect. And if you wouldn't mind putting D-Day, it'd be great. And Sword Beach, if you wouldn't mind, Bill, that'd be fantastic. Brilliant.
Hope that's all right. George.
So, Bill, this is your ship that you went over on D-Day?
This is the model of the LCI, yes. It has 2 ramps. This ramp came down and was shot away or damaged, so we couldn't use it. So this one comes down, and the troops then run down onto the beach. We have driven ourselves onto the beach, so the bows are stuck on the beach, or as far as we can, because the tide's going out and you've got to watch it. We got most of the troops off, and then we had to come back because we couldn't, it's getting off. Right. So anyway, we could get off. As we go onto the beach, we drop our kedge down there, and then we go up on the beach. And the only way we could get off was to wind our boat back to the kedge, right, which we did. Then when it got so far, one of the crew, the old 3-bed stoker, cut the cable with an axe, right, and that was it. And the rest of the few troops who were on there, we put on the smaller craft and took them onto the beach.
Okay. And what was the knots on these? How fast could they go?
I think about 20 knots.
Okay.
But I think it's about 20 knots. the steering, it was like the old trams, starboard port, and then the skipper would, you'd be on the wheelhouse, you take a turn in the wheelhouse, 4 hours on, and the skipper says steer 490, so you go 490 or 231, and you bring your head on the compass to 231, steady as she goes, and then he'll give another order and you alter it again. That's just sitting there like a tram. The only thing is, when it's rough, the boat goes up and the needle goes like that, and then it goes like that, and it's a swine, because they're flat bottomed.
Right.
When they laid these down to build them, they put the keel down, and I think within about 3 days that is built.
So quite quick.
They're quick.
Quick turnover.
And if they've done one landing, it's paid for it. We weren't allowed to take firing in the guns. No, I suppose if planes had come over and attacked us, we could have done something. The 2 chaps that got killed, well, they were standing in front here with all the other troops all starting, and they happened to be standing there when something hit one of them and his head went off, and then the other one had his throat cut. So you end up by tying them up to sort of something similar to this, but it's made of metal, and then drop them
Was
over
that
the
your
side.
first real experience of casualties?
Yes. Yeah, that's the first boat, my first boat. LCI 131, so I looked at that 131, 13, whichever way you looked at it. Yeah.
Could this
That's an old Oerlikon shell.
Could this take a lot of damage, or?
No, we didn't have a lot of damage really. I've got a spider there, got another crew there. No, we didn't have a lot of damage really. There were a few, not really. I wouldn't say there was any damage really. It's just going up on the beach, and
how far could you actually get them into shore?
oh, that would go as far. That would go up to about there, because don't forget, it's flat bottomed,
Right.
and as people come off, it sort of makes it lighter.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'd think we can float off, but then if that tide's going out, you're going they're going off, so you're going down, that tide's going down, you're getting dry. So that's why we dropped the kedge way back there, and then to help us come off, we wind ourselves back to the kedge, then we chop that wire off.
And do you remember it being choppy on D-Day? Do you remember? Because everyone said it was the better
It wasn't
weather.
so
but-
much choppy, it was a bit of a swell, but uncomfortable, you know. You get once you've been seasick or got used to it, you get, you know,
You're all right.
you're all right. But
I
the
suppose-
troops, but some of them, it was a bit nasty because they were sick inside, and you've got to go down and clear that up afterwards.
So you've seen and witnessed a lot of that.
And you imagine they're trying to go to the toilet, some of them, you know. You can understand you've got 200 troops there. It's a right mess.
Did you have any toilet facilities on these boats?
Yeah, there was little toilets down there, but of course you can't have 200 men using a couple of little toilets there. We had our own little washroom.
So when you think they've got to go over to another
Most people
continent,
wet themselves before they got on there, but I don't know. But I wouldn't like to have gone on there, not on that day.
well, thank you, Bill.
That's all right. No, it's
It's a lovely
and
model.
that's the little one we went into Holland, and they all run off of there.
And this is the type that you would have used in Holland.
That's the one we used
Yep.
in Holland, yeah. And these were similar when we couldn't get all the troops off because we come off, we would put them on little craft like that and take them in there.
Did you see this type on D-Day as well, Bill?
Oh, they were there, yeah, some of them were in there.
What one was better to actually be on? The larger type or these smaller crafts? What was better to handle?
Well, these were easier than what they were. Well, to that hand wasn't bad because you just had to go start, you know, to steer. It was fine. you got 20 odd crew on there. It's just the four of you there.
Right.
You're living together, and then the other thing is, the boat was never. There was always someone that's staying there overnight on there. The other three, one of us would stay on there, and you get your hammock underneath there, and you pull that over there. Well, then the rain used to get in there, right? And when it got so full, these would slowly try to close. They were tied up there. They would slowly sort of go back, and the rain would come in there where you were lying, having a shower, and you're fast asleep. Yeah. And the coxswain, say the stoker was there. Two 4-8 engines inside there.
Amazing. I bet it brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it?
Oh, well, it does. Some lot of happy days, and yeah, I don't know why little Billy Williams, but Bugs Manilow, I don't know why we called him Bugs Manilow.
And like the last question,
Yeah.
Bill, was you a fan of Glenn Miller during the war? Did you like all that music?
A fan, well, he was one of the Wassons, wasn't he, during the war? Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to go to clubs and things when you was on leave?
No, you might be able to get the pictures sometimes, but the thing is, mainly it was in the pub. You go to into Pompey, and of course, the street was full of pubs, wasn't it? So you go in the pub and say, well, have another one in there. Because money wasn't. The time you loaned or sent home 7 shillings to your mother, and the rest you bought your cigarettes. You bought, I think it was 200 cigarettes a week we were allowed. And they were good for bartering when you was in Holland, you know, sort of you go in for a meal or something, you get pound in cigarettes. Or
It was better than money.
well, it was. When I was trying to trace his relations, we went to the second time back on these, showing these to the Dutch people, and you stand there in uniform and you go like this, and they pull up and say Sassenheim and or Leiden. You've got a couple of towns you want to go to first to get there, and say yeah, and then say cigarettes. Oh yeah, jump on horse and cart and your naval uniform. And they say, finally, I saw these two girls and I didn't ask them. I thought, well, no, I've asked so many people, Rustic Lane, and after meeting me, this Aunt Minnie, and I didn't know what she looked like, in walked the two girls, and I could have been there an hour before. But then I've got to get back, because the officer said you've got to be back by a certain time, and you've got to do all this again.
Yeah.
And the fact that when I came to England and started Dutch classes, I met the teacher there was the colleague of the family I met in Holland. Yeah.
Smaller.
So I could still speak Dutch anyway.
Amazing. And that's you here, is it as well, Bill?
Yeah, that's for me. And there's a Ray Holgrave. He was the. That's this one here. That's Raymond. As I say, we all had to take turns carrying this blasted revolver.
And how old was you there, Bill?
Could only been 19, 20. About 20, I suppose.
Amazing.